Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tech and Beyond, the Blue Altair podcast. I am your host for today, Mitali, and today we are diving into a topic that is not just critical but often overlooked in AI and digital transformation, which is data maturity and adoption. There's a lot of buzz around AI, but are organizations truly able to harness its power? Many are excited about AI, but struggle with the foundational elements needed for its success. At Blue Altair, we help organizations unlock the true potential of AI by building strong data foundations, ensuring data governance, and driving seamless adoption. With that, let's dive into today's discussion and welcome our guest for the day, Kajal. Kajal is here to help us navigate this, and she's also an expert in the field. Kajal is the Director of Data Management at Blue Altair with over 2 decades of experience in data management and data governance. She has been driving business value across domains like insurance, healthcare, and asset management. Kajal, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mitali. Thank you for having me here and giving me this opportunity to talk about my experiences and learnings on the digital transformation journey.
So, for our listeners, could you walk us through your journey in data management space?
In last 2 decades, I think I'm very thankful that I've always got opportunities to work on trending technologies, right from Siebel CRM days, which was trending back then, 2 decades back, till date, when we are talking about cloud adoption and AI adoption.
Diving into the first segment about organizations being ready, my first question to you is AI being the buzzword of the decade and organizations trying to integrate AI into their business strategies. In your experience, what's the reality? Are organizations truly able to incorporate AI?
The growing investment in AI across IT organizations is quite evident as we are entering 2025. Organizations with mature data, recognized, deeply woven into the fabric of the business, and the teams are data literate, which means they are very clear with their business goals, are definitely ready for their AI journey. However, many organizations they jump into AI without even understanding whether they have that solid foundation for data ready for AI or not. We often hear business team asking, where can we leverage AI to solve these? In my opinion, in most of these cases, they are searching for opportunities rather than solving a real business scenario.
It was interesting to know about the readiness of organizations, which brings me to my second segment now, industry comparisons. Who's ahead and who's just starting off? Starting with the first question. Not all industries are on the same page when it comes to data maturity. We've seen some sectors move very fast while others are still starting off or haven't started off. They're still thinking of doing it. Uh, can you give us like an industry comparison? Which industry do you think is thriving with AI and which is still getting started off?
In my opinion, pharma and healthcare are definitely ahead in the game, and that is because they have a high level of data maturity due to the complexity of the data that they are handling and due to the regulatory requirements that they have to be abide. When it comes to finance and asset management, I think they are a little more conservative and slower adoption, more due to the security concerns, right? Retail and e-commerce, they are definitely adapting AI very rapidly, and that is because they are very customer centric, want to provide the best customized experience for their customers.
That's interesting, Kajal. Speaking of readiness of organizations, many organizations jump into AI without assessing their data maturity. What, according to you, are the biggest challenges they are facing during implementation?
Like I mentioned in my earlier answer, right, the major challenge is that organizations are viewing AI more as an opportunity without defining their business goal. The other major challenges are overall the readiness. When it comes to the readiness, is the data privacy laws, the compliance requirement, the security, the ROI, the availability of the skilled professionals, the investment that is involved, right? So these also play a very significant role. Trust and adoption, this has always been a hurdle when it comes to any new kind of an innovation, be it phone, be it electricity, online banking, OTT platforms. And I think AI is also following the similar pattern when it comes to the adoption part of it.
That's fascinating, Kajal. You spoke of different sectors, but specifically speaking of financial sector, you said that there is a lot of they are being conservative to adapt. What do you think is the reason? Can you dive into it a little bit?
So, talking about the Indian market here, I think the finance sector and the asset management companies, they have a lot of dependency when it comes to their legacy applications, right? Replacing that or making any change to that existing setup causes a disruption in their overall operations, and they are not ready for that. Moreover, these legacy applications, a lot of restriction when it comes to integrating it with the new modern technologies.
Yeah.
Over and above that, again, the stringent regulatory compliance norms that we have in India creates another layer of complexities. And the fear of change and reluctance to disrupt the established workflows also causes next level of burden, in my opinion.
Agreed. Absolutely. Kajal, we talked about the AI height readiness of organizations and industries, which brings me to the third segment, which is best practices for achieving data maturity. My first question to you would be let's talk about solutions. If an organization is struggling with its data maturity, what steps should they be taking?
In my experience, there is not a very constant answer for this, but there are certain best practices which any organization should start with. The first step is to understand their current maturity level. That's very important. How much is their data readiness? Invest in data governance to have a framework in place to manage their policies, the data controls in one location. Break down data silos, which means you need to think about integrating the data across various departments, various domains, and a cloud adoption strategy, which has to be a well-defined strategy of talking about what needs to be refactored, what needs to be reformed, so on and so forth. And the cultural shift, I think most of this AI adoption journey are not just a technology shift, but it is about a mindset as well. It has to be adopted, and that's also one of the best practices.
Do you have an example of a company that has successfully improved its data maturity and has seen the benefits of it?
Absolutely. I mean, at Blue Altair, there are many such examples. But the quote one example is for an insurance company, which was really struggling with its overall processing time. Blue Altair got involved with this client during the initial stages of assessment to understand their current state and come up with a roadmap, helping them to achieve the next level of data maturity. And that was done by migrating their analytical solution, which was of Azure Synapse to Databricks, which resulted in reducing the overall processing time by 55%. This was achieved basically by the Medallion architecture and was not only reduced the processing time, but also created a very strong foundation for the analytical and AI requirements.
That's a very great example. This has really been an eye-opening conversation, Kajal. If there are any key takeaways for our listeners, what would they be?
Data maturity is not a one-time project. It's definitely a journey. So that's the major key takeaway. And the second one I would say is that organizations should treat their data as a strategic asset instead of it just being an operational requirement.
Right. I love that, Kajal. This was really an insightful discussion. And to our listeners, if they want to connect with you and learn more about data maturity and adoption, where can they find you?
You can reach me on LinkedIn or visit Blue Altair's website.
Thank you for joining us, Kajal. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share. Until next time, keep innovating.